basic.
I told God the other day that I was struggling with my life. My blessings on the way, but it ain't gon' happen overnight. I'm praying on my knees, I'm asking God please. I ain't Dr. King, but I've been working on my dream. Look, can't pick up the phone cause ain't nobody understand.
What's up? It's been a minute since we've talked. I know. I have a few updates to provide. So let's get started. So the first thing is I did get my samples finally. So I'm gonna have a try on fit because I tried one of the one pieces on. I have to get some adjustments and then I have some two pieces that I'm gonna try on. I'll probably give you guys, like I said, a little preview to at least one or two of the selections. And then yeah, once we get the selections, then the website and everything else will be up and running. So yeah, we're almost there. I know it's taking some time. Just a background on that. It's taking time. Throughout this process, I went through a couple vendors and I finally decided on one that I like. So I'm gonna try that one out for a little while and then, you know, we'll go from there. I finally was able to register for my classes. So in this video today, I'm gonna pretty much talk about my registration in my classes that I did select, because I know I told you guys I was gonna pick that. I'm still studying my TEAS exam. So once I get the study guides and stuff uploaded, they're not all finished. So I'm gonna start doing weekly learn with me's on the TEAS exam. So if you want to check that out, it will be posted soon. So look for that video within a week. I'm logging into my school portal right now, so I can tell you the classes, and then I'll give you like a backdrop on like that whole process, because it's been like a back and forth thing. I do feel like I said in this video, we're going to talk about my schedule, and then I'm also going to talk about the differences between universities and technical colleges, or community colleges, if you will, because the processes are completely different for both. I feel like technical college or community college is a bit easier. Well, I can say a bit, it's easier, just because after you turn your transcripts in, I feel like the advisors are like hands-on with you. At universities, it doesn't seem that way. It's like a lot of people don't know a lot about certain things. Like at my other school, I was used to my advisor kind of telling me like what to expect with certain things from the classes, the professors. Just the whole experience is different. So yeah, so I ended up, long story short, once I transferred, I wasn't told that when you're a transfer student you had to wait to register. So I finally was able to register for my classes on May 10th, and then upon registering, they didn't take one of my math credits. So yeah, so at this point they have me in a math that's like before, I'll say it's called a learning support math. So it's a learning support for college algebra, even though I already took the class, they just don't want to accept it from the college. So the coming up week, I wasn't told that, if in the beginning I was not told that if they don't take a class you can just test out of it, and it's called an Accuplacer. So what the Accuplacer does is pretty much test your readiness to go into, whether it's math, English, you know, the basics things. I thought I didn't have to do it because I was a transfer student and I do have math credits on there, so obviously I've taken some math classes, but that wasn't the case. And yeah, that's where we're at with it. So I have to take the math classes in order, I have to take the Accuplacer in order to just go into a regular college algebra or statistics or something of that nature, excuse me, to, you know, just proceed. So my schedule is loading up right now. So for like I said, when you're required to take a class without an Accuplacer test, you have to do, like I said, a learning support math, and then it's pretty much you take two math classes at the same time. It's a learning support and another class called quantive reasoning. Each school has its own type of learning support classes, so pretty much the entry classes that you take for that category, or for that subject for that matter. I don't really want to take the test because, like, if for instance, if you're doing, well, if I want to test out of something, it's like I said, it's a difference. I'll go into that in a second. We'll just talk about the classes I chose. So right now I'm taking a research strategy and technology class, a public speaking class, a survey for U.S. history class, then the 2 math support. So it's a math support class and then a quantum reasoning class. So right now I'm doing a total of 11 credit hours. But my school, the maximum is 18. I don't think it's gonna be difficult. I'm trying to do is, like I said, knock out as many as I can, but do it at my pace. And then I try to, what I did this semester, because summer semesters are always shorter than, you know, fall and spring. So I pretty much picked the classes that I know for a fact that I would pretty much have no trouble in. Just because, like I said, with them 2 math classes, when I take the Accuplacer test, if I score out of the range, like if my range is good enough, then I don't have to take that. I can just take regular college algebra and go about my day. So my schedule is made. And what I ended up doing is, so you have options of taking them in class online. For those classes, I didn't really want to sit in the class because, like I said, I don't need it. That's why I'm crossing my fingers and praying that on next week, I think I'm gonna do it Monday. Well, they close Monday from Memorial Day. So Tuesday, sometime that week, I'm going to go ahead and just take the class. Well, excuse me, take the Accuplacer test. And then from there, if I need to, I'll adjust my schedule. Right now, like I said, both these math classes are done online because I just didn't want to go to the school and do it. And then if I do the other math class, it'll probably be online because, like I said, I already taken the class. They just want to take the credit. So it is what it is at this point. Because, like I said, summer semester starts on June 17th. So I really don't have much time in between what I'm doing to like be selective of what I can and can't get into, because classes fill up quick. As you know, if you are taking classes and you are in college, they fill up quick. So you want to do that from the beginning. One thing I would say, like I said, when you're dealing with a university, if your advisor doesn't assist you, like if you don't feel like they're assisting you to the full capabilities, make sure you do your research. Don't depend on the school to kind of like guide you. I'm not saying don't get an advisor. I'm just saying that within that, just be more proactive and, you know, take charge of your schedule, your education, because it is your education at the end of the day, not the schools. So just take charge of that. So once you get accepted, so these are my steps. Once you get accepted, step 1, make sure your FOSFAs are done. So regardless of what schools you plan on going to, you could have, I think I don't know exactly how many schools you could register on FOSFA. But that's financial aid. And then of course you got, you know, the student loans, subsidized loans, things like that. I don't necessarily, when I first went to college, I did do the subsidized loan. But then after that, I thought about it and I didn't want it anymore. So because I felt like it was gonna put me in debt versus just working with what I have. So whatever my FOSFA doesn't pay for, I try to engage how much the classes cost and things of that nature, so that way I know, like, if I'm gonna come out of pocket. I haven't really paid out of pocket for anything, and the things I have paid for was like books and things of that nature, but I got reimbursed for it. So after you do your financial aid and you select your colleges, I'm pretty sure you could do up to 10. It doesn't matter if you're gonna, like, for instance, I did the university I go to and then like a community college around the area. I didn't know which one I was gonna choose. Then when I got accepted into the university, HBCU, of course, I decided just to go with that one. I kind of did want to go to the technical college after the whole process of the school thing, because it didn't discourage me, but I just feel like it was a whole lot of back and forth. Like when you turn the document, it takes them 3 days to like get it, and then you probably won't hear nothing back for almost a week, like things like that. So would that be your first thing? Your advisors. If you don't like the advisor you have, then you can always change them. So I would recommend doing that. But yeah, so once you do your FOSFA, and you know you do your enrollment stuff, the next thing I would do is make sure your transcripts are good. Because like I said, I was in a situation that started all the way in March and it's just not getting solved when it's May. So I felt like I was proactive with it, but it's just like the response times are kind of long. And even now, like I said, with the situation with the math class, I need to sort it out immediately. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and take the Accuplacer, because I don't want to accept my financial aid and then have to pay any money or anything like that. Because what happens is, once you select your classes and you register for your financial aid, calculates all of that, and then it disperses the money towards the financial aid. And if you're supposed to get money back, you get money back. But nonetheless, when they pay for the classes, you don't want to just go ahead, if you're not sure of what classes you want to take right then and there, then just make sure you don't wait till the last minute to do your financial aid, well, like accept your financial aid, but you know, you get it to the point where you know what you want to do, because that is the biggest portion. The financial aid, register for your classes. Like I said, when I came to the school, I couldn't register until May 10th, so that kind of put me at a standstill, so I had to wait. And then of course, here I am, half my classes, some of them are mostly, well, a couple of them are online, and the rest of them campus. So for that, I would say once you transfer to a college, university, whichever, a university, or you could transfer into another community college, just check the requirements, like as far as like deadlines for financial aid, your transcripts. Like I said, that's the most important part. If it's a discrepancy within that, just, you know, go to your enrollment services or the registers to see like what steps you could take to correct it. And then if it's kind of like for instance, if I don't pass my Accuplacer, then I'm kind of stuck in like Chuck, and then I have to take the support class and then the quantum reading class, it's together in one, and then I can go to the next stage of, you know, the math, which pretty sure I'll pass it. And then of course, once I take the test, I will vlog that day. I kind of study, well, I ain't gonna say I studied, I just checked to see like what it was they were like looking for, and I did write it down. So let me get my handy dandy notebook and my Dora voice. So the support learning in the other classes is like simple stuff. I already know how to do most of this stuff, but it's simple. So you got adding and subtracting integers. The Accuplacer test is compromised of what I've seen. This is like some of the suggested study things that it gives you to prepare for it. Kind of like I said, like a SAT, like kind of like an SAT, a TEAS, or anything like that. So it's adding and subtracting integers, multiplying, dividing integers, exponents with negative bases, adding and subtracting fractions, dividing negative fractions, converting decimals into fractions, like stuff like that. I already know it. So, and then fractions into decimals, and then finding a percent or something. So that's like the basis. And then like I said, once I take the test that day, I'll kind of give you a back brief of what I have and how to prepare for it. If you aren't good in any of those categories, I can also, like, if you need, yeah, so if you're not good in the categories, you'll be able to study it and get better before you take your test. Because a lot of universities charge you to take the test. It's not like a technical college where if you have to take a placement exam, normally they're free. I don't remember ever paying for anything like that. It's even when I transferred, like, this is the only university, well, this is my first university, so this is the only one. So going to a university, like, this is the requirement. So I was like, okay. The only one you don't have to pay for with math placement or any other placement test is a let me see, I'm gonna tell you right now, 1 second.
Lord knows it's enough up on my plate, making sure everybody's straight. Yeah, stab in the bag, I ain't even trying to cap.
So it's the math placement test. So if you have to take the math placement test, then that one is free of charge. Like, pretty much you could take it one time without have to pay for it, but if you have to retest, I believe it's like $20-some. You have to do that. Everything is proctored. I know sometimes they have where you can get it, go to another university or college to take it, but that stuff does cost you. They will charge you for that, because it's, even if you get to take it at another school, you still have to go by that school's charges for what it costs to take the test. Oh yeah, and another important thing, so after you've did your transcripts, so revert, if you want to do philosophy and transcript, same sense, but if we go back, so the first one, I would say your transcripts, get that all situated, taken care of. Second thing is your financial aid, get that squared away as well. And then what was the next thing I was going to tell you guys? I would recommend sitting down and getting your degree plan together. Just making sure you take your classes how you feel comfortable taking them. I'm looking to give you guys my degree plan so that way I can tell you. So my degree is an associate's in science. That's my core. And then my major is health science profession, nursing. So like I said, if you follow my channel, yes, I'm going to school to be a registered nurse. So if you didn't know, that's what I'm going to school for now. I should be finished. I should have the associates by 2020, I believe, or 2021. And then from there, I'm gonna do a fast track and get my bachelor's in nurse and RN, so that way I can finish out and do a specialty. I'm hoping that within that time frame when I get my bachelor's, or before then, when we get into clinicals, I can do like rotations at different hospitals or like with practices, so I can decide like where I want to be placed, or what's better, not where I want to be placed, but what's better for me and what I like the most. Right now, I'm situating myself with either being a certified nurse midwife or a certified nurse anesthetist, if you didn't know that as well. So it's really just gonna depend on which pathway I feel that calls me. So whichever one, because I feel like if I'm gonna have a job like that, I want to be able to enjoy my job. I don't want to get up and just like really quickly, just the last little thing, because I'm not gonna take up too much time on it. I'm just gonna give you, from my school, the acceptance for the nursing track. You have to apply for it. You have to apply for your, of course, apply to the college, get accepted. You got to complete the TEAS exam prior to your acceptance. And then, and you can do that whenever, just as long as it's done prior to you trying to apply for the nursing program. It is competitive. Any courses that are listed under there, the nursing general education, you got to have a 2.8 GPA. And then any required biology courses in nursing general education is a cumulative GPA of 3.0. You must have a minimum of 2.0 and be in good standing. The passing score for the TEAS exam is 63. And it's adjusted to individual scores. Reading, mathematics, those are going to be the most important parts of the TEAS for the nursing. Let's see. And then they also have like academic and institutional history. So like D's, F, withdrawals, like all that stuff is calculated. So within the nursing program, like they said, it's only 35 hours. I kind of do like how their semesters are set up though once you get into the program. The first semester you'll be taking fundamental concepts of nursing and then psychiatric mental health nursing concepts, and then the second semester you'll be taking 1 intermediate concepts of nursing. Childbearing is in the 3rd semester, and then advanced concepts is in the 4th. So that's like a total of 35 credit hours. And that's if you don't have any, like you're not an LPN or none of that. You're just pretty much coming into it and going. So you do have to have anatomy and physiology, at least one, and a math class before you can actually get accepted into the program. The program is competitive, so once you apply, that doesn't mean you're going to get accepted. The school I went to in Florida, like once you apply for it, as long as you had your biology and mathematics class, you were good to go. It wasn't as competitive, but it is very competitive here. So that's just a little background on that. I do recommend, like, because the material is so heavy, it's pretty much full time. So I would suggest, you know, like I said, taking a lot of the classes before you even try to apply for the program. So like for instance, if you know you're gonna need English 1 and 2, those are simple classes. Like I already took both of those. And then the history class, humanities, you need at least 3 credit hours for that. You need American government, psychology, and I've taken most of these classes, only got a few more. I recommend, if you're going new and you don't know anything about the program, look at their requirements and then just start taking your classes, because once you get accepted into the program, pretty much all the core classes, like the prerequisite core classes, have to still be done in order for you to get your degree. Even if you took the nursing class, and some of them you can't even get into the, like for instance, if the first semester requires that you have to have math and biology, you have to have math and biology the first semester, period. No exclamation point, no, none of that. And then so on and so forth. So I would take as many classes as you can. I will also see if your school has like an assistance or get involved with the nursing career field. Some colleges have like clinical rotation partnerships, where you pretty much work with faculty alongside like RNs and EMTs. And I would try to get involved in that most definitely, because like I said, at the end of the day, you have to take control of your career. So if it's something that you really are passionate about, then dedicate the time to kind of learn about it. And it helps too when you do stuff like that, because I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to look and see like how it works, and then I want to actually see it, because that can give you first-hand experience on what you could possibly be seeing as a intern, extern, whatever like that. Also, I would definitely recommend doing extern or internship as soon as possible. Like as soon as you can do it, whether it's in your second clinical rotation, go ahead and start doing it. Because a lot of the times, like when you're trying to get a master's or PhD in nursing, you still have to have the experience regardless. So just for instance, the I'm gonna say, we'll just say the certified nurse midwife and then the certified nurse anesthetist programs, they require you to have at least 2 years experience. So pretty much, like I said, as soon as you can start doing clinical rotations, start your experience there. Network with people. You can use them as references, like build your portfolio, build you, because this is what you're gonna need. Because when you start submitting packets for things, that stuff is a requirement. Like you have to have like recommendation letters sometimes. So I would definitely do that. I would check the program's repeat to replace policy, which means you're going to repeat a class to replace a grade that you previously received. Sometimes nursing programs don't accept that. Well, like it's whatever the first grade you got, that's what it is. DF, no matter, no different, that's what it is. So check on that policy, because you don't want to waste your time taking a class that they're not going to take anyway, regardless of what you get for the grade or not. Yeah, it's like you showing them that you're trying to, even if you repeat and replace, it still kind of shows them that you tried to, you know, go back and do it again to get a better grade, to try to do better in the class. But at the same time, it's like you're gonna be taking that class, and you could be taking another class, and like a whole different class with that, you know, that goes to the degree, and you wasting your time taking this one class. Granted, it's gonna affect your GPA, no, hands down, but still, like, check their policy to see. Start familiarizing yourself with the NCLEX, because that's going to be a biggie. I would definitely look at the pass and fail rates for your school and the track you're in, medical or not. Like, you want to know exactly how the school does in that range. My school first attempt is for NCLEX is the pass rate between 90 to 93%, which is very good. Because like I said, nursing is a lot of, it ain't too many. I ain't gonna say it's not too many easy career paths you could take when you start going to school, but there are some that are like harder than others, like when it comes to like testing out of it, so that way you can get your associates and then move forward to, if you want to get a bachelor's, a master's, or a PhD. But that's pretty high, so I like that about it. While you're doing all that stuff, if you get to a point where you are starting to struggle with your classes, keeping up or nothing, like anything like that, make sure you are proactive, because at the end of the day, a lot of teachers don't care, or excuse me, a lot of professors don't care. Like, your education, like I said, is your education. So if you start falling behind, I'm the type of person, if I don't understand something, either I'm gonna ask right then and there, or I'll wait, do a sidebar, or whatever. Like, it's just whatever you're comfortable with, but seek the help. Because one thing I can say, if someone sees you actively trying to help, they may just be like, okay, well, since you're trying, we'll just go ahead and do this, or we'll do that, whatever the case may be. But if you just sitting back not saying nothing, then you failing, they asking you if you need help, because sometimes they may ask and you're not saying nothing, or you just not doing nothing, being proactive, then that's not gonna work out for you at all. So those are just a few things. Thank you guys for subscribing and watching my channel. Like I said, I do apologize for my tardiness, because I've been so busy with doing so many things that I was told the other day I need to cut my car off, which is me, and just relax, because I'm always busy, which is true. Like, I try to do as much as I can in a day, and it does get overwhelming at times. But nonetheless, like I said, look forward for my next video, which would be the Accuplacer test, which I'll post that video sometime next week. It's just going to depend on what day I take it. So throughout my journey of this, like I said, I'm trying to accomplish my TEAS before, it was July, but it's just gonna depend on how these classes go. If they're not, like, they're kind of chill, like we're gonna push through it and go ahead and take the TEAS, so that way I can go into the program. Because you have to take the TEAS before you can even apply. So I have to do it. The longer I wait, the longer, you know, it takes for me to get my degree. So gotta be proactive with that. And of course, when I do take the tests, I will do a video on like what to look for and things like that. I did purchase a TEAS book. I do know people that never touched the book, never studied, and still passed. But for me, I just want to make sure. I'm one of the type, I like to make sure. So I want to make sure that I was doing everything. I'm really just, I don't know, when it comes to stuff like that, I like to be able to make sure I'm studying what I need to be studying. So I called them, asked them what's the most current book. They said it don't change too often, but I don't be trusting all that. I need the most current one, because when I test, I want to be prepared for it. Because at my school, it's so competitive that if I have higher testing scores with my TEAS, that can work out for me, and vice versa. If my GPA is 3.0 or 2.8 and my TEAS exam scores are above 6, because the minimum is 63 to even be looked at. So if they're like, I'm trying to score within the 80s, 90s, maybe even 100. You know, I try to set big goals and push myself, because I feel like no matter what, you can control everything you do and you'll be great at it. So yeah. Anywho, that's all for now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and I look forward to seeing you again and again.
Forgive them for their wrongs. I picked up every brick and built the shit right up on my own. Faith was on the ground, I had to go and pick it up. They tell me that